Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Shows World.
Welcome to Shows World Gamers, Josh here, and this week draws to a close. I wanted to take a moment to look at this week's new game releases, gaming announcements, and a few news stories. If this is your first time on the channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and join in on the fun. Now, just a side note, as this week in review may be missing a few stories from later in the week, as we spent the second half of the week on location at our in-person preview of Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Hollywood. So expect some new info about the theme park coming soon. Also, I did make the video before Wednesday's Nintendo Direct, so I'm sure we got some awesome announcements and maybe even some shadow drops there. Hopefully, we get one or more of those awesome Mario games announced that we discussed in our Year of Mario video. Check out that video link at the end of this one. And make sure you subscribe. We will definitely be discussing the Direct and what's to come next week. Alright gamers, without further ado, let's get this week in review started with this week's new game releases. And definitely, the biggest game this week is Hogwarts Legacy. It released this week and is looking like it may be one of the biggest games of the year. Taking place about a century before the Harry Potter storyline, you play as a student attending Hogwarts in a huge open world style action RPG. The game released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series systems, and PC, with versions for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One coming later this year. Omegabot is an action side-scroller indie game with challenging robotic bosses and bright colorful 8-bit style graphics. The game was previously released on PC, but this week versions were released digitally for the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox One, as well as on the Xbox Series systems. Nadir, a grim dark deck builder, is a roguelike card game with a bit of a twist, as the cost to play a card is an enemy reaction that you can actually predict, and you craft your own cards to slay powerful demons. The game is out now on the Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation systems, and on Xbox systems. Next up, let's take a look at a few gaming announcements. Now, Leap received a trailer this week. Now, on the tails of a bunch of live service games announcing they are shutting down, this free-to-play online first-person shooter game is scheduled to be released on March 1st, and it will be coming to the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series systems. Townsmen VR received an announcement trailer showing a release date of February 22nd on PlayStation's new PS VR2 headset. The game is a medieval city building game that uses new gameplay experiences and interactive mechanics using VR. Bramble, the Mountain King, received a trailer this week announcing a release date of April 27th. The game is a grim adventure game set in a world inspired by dark Nordic fables. The game looks good, and I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this title. It is coming to the Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation systems, as well as the Xbox systems. Now, Maximum Football is a free-to-play football game, and it was announced this week with the target release for the fall. The game will come to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox systems. Now, there is a PC version that is scheduled to come out this spring. I had actually never heard of this series before, but it looks like this is an ongoing series, so I may check out one of the older ones before this new version releases to see if it's any good. Hot Wheels Rift Rally was announced for the PS5 and mobile. The mixed reality game uses an RC car with a mounted camera on top, and you create a track by setting up gates. You then race your real-world track with added effects showing up on the screen. If you are familiar with the Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, this is the same thing, but with some added customization features. Alright gamers, let's finish up with a few news stories from this week in gaming. Now, in a somewhat surprising turn of events, Nintendo actually won a class action lawsuit that had been filed against them as a result of the Joy-Con drift issue. A judge ruled because of the end-user license agreement, which disallows lawsuits and requires parties involved to enter a legal arbitration, the case will not be going any further. Now, in some exciting news, Moon Studios, the company behind the extraordinary Ori games, seems to be hard at work on their next game. Studio head Thomas Mahler said, that Ori was the team's Mario and the new project is our Zelda. It is not clear when Moon Studios plans to release or even announce the new project, but the project has been underway since 2015, so an announcement could be any time now. Alright gamers, that concludes this week in review for the week ending on February 10th. The week started with the live service style of game seemingly hitting its ceiling, with a bunch of games announcing they are coming to an end. Then, we packed up and headed to Hollywood for a sneak peek of Super Nintendo World. And the week ended as we got a chance to experience the most ambitious Wizarding World game to date in Hogwarts Legacy. But let me know anything we may have missed in the comments. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and thanks for joining us today, gamers. Shoach World out.